What's good, guys? Today I thought I would make a little bit of a different type of video. So I'm going to be bringing you along to one of my working sessions. And as you see here, I'm recording my screen so you can take a look as well and work alongside me. So today we're going to be working on emailing some of our new clients. So whenever we have a user that comes on our landing page, we want to qualify that person. So there's a set of wizards that this person experiences, and they're also building their website alongside this. And as part of this, we don't want to interrupt their experience while they're doing that, but we do want to follow up with them to make sure that they can come back in case they, want to leave for a bit and come and use the dashboard at a different time, right? So this allows them to essentially go and come back very easily. So I'm going to be setting up the welcome email, which essentially would be an authenticated URL with a welcome message that says, hey, thank you for taking the time and welcome to VenueBox, and all these great resources are here for you. You can log in here at any time, boom. So we'll be sending an email and an SMS text. So this first thing is a hot fix. The second thing we're going to be working on is we had actually about 100 to 200 people in the past when we ran our last experiment, which was the 1 hour website experiment. Essentially, folks came down a funnel where we gave them a website within an hour. And this was one of the experiments we ran in the past, but this experience did not have an editing website experience. So a lot of customers, essentially, it was a done for you service. A lot of customers, there was a little bit of fragment between the fulfillment process. So when a person came in versus when they saw the result, there was a bit of a delay in between that. So there was a lot of confusion as to what was happening. And then also a lot of people gave us feedback that they didn't quite like the fact that they couldn't really change much and they had to depend on us to make the changes. So today, or a couple weeks ago, we worked on new feature sets that has now allowed our venue owners and vendors like decorators, DJs, entertainers, florists, and other types of vendors that are helping people plan their events. Essentially, we have tools that helps them now take control of their website, having the granular touches to change things when they want and when they feel like they need to make those changes. So, okay, that just gives you a good insight as to what we're going to be looking at today. So we're going to be sending an email campaign to those previous customers to just give them an update that this new feature set exists. And if they wanted to try it out, they would have a link where they could just jump in and get going. So that's what we're going to be working on today, as you see on my screen here. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the first thing. So I've never done this before, by the way, so bear with me. This is going to be a little bit of an experience for you guys as well. Okay. And I'll try to talk to you and entertain you while I am coding, which I've never really done before. I thought about playing music, but I couldn't really play music because I don't know about the copyright thing. So we're just focused on doing some work right now. So we have a welcome email experience on vendor home page and vendor home page alt. So that's two of our different landing pages. And we capture leads. When we capture leads, when we capture leads from the forms. Currently, this is supposed to be a 30-minute delayed email and SMS sent to the user, but our dependency on Redis /bull queue was causing application crashes. So one of our customers actually was having issues. One of our clients was having issues because we put this feature set in last week, but then actually it was crashing the application. So we removed it temporarily. So we're going to work on a different solution set. Not exactly the same one, but a different thing that will not break our clients' experiences. And we actually do get texts and calls from people when the application goes down. So we need to make sure our application has good runtime. And it makes sense because when I'm using other people's application and it goes down, I always go oh, what's the status? What's happening? I need this thing, right? So we always got to make sure that we are not breaking things or we're on top of what we're changing. Okay. We need an alternative solution to this problem. It is important. Send a welcome email /SMS after a 30-minute delay to not break the user experience when they are still qualifying or building their website and onboarding. This would be a mechanism to remind them of where and how to log in to their dashboard to continue editing or to publish your website. Okay. So I'm gonna have this thing analyze solutions, review and analyze the system and possible solutions around this. Yeah. So I'm using Claude Code. So Claude Code is an agentic AI. So it's like your ChatGPT. The only difference is inside my coding terminal, and it has access to essentially all my files. So it's like your coding buddy. It's your coding buddy, and it just does some work for you. But you need to always make sure you're checking what it's doing. So there's this feature called plan mode. So right now I'm using plan mode. And essentially plan mode, what it does is it allows you to plan with Claude Code. So it'll tell you its train of thought, what it's thinking about. It'll help you research all the files you have and the dependencies on the different files, and things that might be wrong with the logic of how you're thinking about things, or things that you haven't thought about. Essentially, it basically helps you dilute down the details. It removes the minor, tiny little details, and it focuses on a big picture. And it helps you kind of see what's important. And you can focus on the big picture and work on things. Of course, the details are important too. So you just have to strike a balance between, making sure you continue to challenge its thinking. So if you're not sure about something, you ask it. You tell it, has it thought about this scenario? And sometimes it doesn't think about all scenarios. So you always have to know more about your code base than Claude Code does. So you need to tell it, hey, this thing, you're not thinking about this thing. You forgot about this aspect of things that is very, very important. And it'll be like, oh, my bad, I forgot. Let me go find and read the files. So sometimes it'll do that. So right now we're sock hopping because we got a review. So we have a vendor magic link. So in the welcome email, we always send a magic link to people, because authentication is something that we had a huge issue with originally when we first started this application. We actually had an older guy and an older lady, and not because they were old, but I think they weren't super tech savvy, and just the fact that they had a hard time using their Google account to sign into the application initially, they just were kind of frustrated, and I get it. And back then we needed to whitelist them. A whole mess because it was not a public application yet, so we need to whitelist their emails and then give them access, and they had to authenticate to use the application properly. Long story short, it was very hard to onboard them, but now we're trying to reduce the barrier to entry, so that's why we have the magic link. So that's essentially connected to people. So your email or your phone, you get a link that allows you to log in essentially. So I know there's a little bit of security gray area, but it is a person's device. So if their email or phone is already compromised anyway, there's not much to do there, right? Because that's how you log into most of the things that you use anyway, or at least two-factor authenticate to those things, right? So it's pretty secure. It's as secure as you could get, unless the person actually, their phone gets compromised or their email account gets compromised, which is a larger issue, which is beyond us at that point, right? So yeah, we're trying to reduce the barrier to entry so people don't have to authenticate anymore, or at least they don't have to think about it. So it's a silent authentication in the background. And we just like give you a whoosh whoosh, boom, you're in. So yeah, that's amazing. So okay, it's finished planning. So let's review the plan, right? Let's see what it's talking about. Okay, so it's giving me a couple different solution options. So solution 1 is to replace it with PG Boss, using database backend scheduling, store notification in the SQL. So okay, so this is gonna keep a table, slightly higher DB load, minimal for vendor volume. Okay. Okay. Solution 2, database and cron job, cron polling. I don't like cron polling. Cron jobs are like very intense, I would say. Okay. Manual retry logic, I don't like that. 0 new dependencies, dead simple, works existing stack. We do use this actually to refresh some tokens sometimes. So let's see. Hybrid setup timeout with set timeout with database backup. That's most instance. Okay, lost and crashes. No, we don't need that. API latency. Okay, we're gonna explore option 1 and 2. I guess I wanna know more about this. The con. Noki planning. Tell me more about this these cons, and how we can optimize, with our current system. Anyways, okay. So we have this con, and when we have this con, we're not super concerned about a 5 minute latency. So if it's a 5 minute precision time, it's not that big of a deal. So I'll let her know. We're not super concerned about 5 minute delay or latency on the email SMS, as long as it is sent to users. Okay. And then manual retry needs to definitely be automated into the system with some sort of exponential backoff. Okay. Exponential backoff is like when you try something again, but you give more time each time in between to make sure like you're not overloading the system. Slightly higher DB load. How much DB load is the first example, and do we already have systems that take up equivalent load? Let's find a suitable path. Okay, so we're gonna explore questions, right? So this is the this is the stage of programming these days. I feel like most there are some people that are like at a different level. I don't know what they do. They probably use a bunch of agents using Git work trees and like have the different agents talking to each other and blah blah blah. But right now, I'm just working on a couple feature sets. Nothing too crazy. So this is how people kind of work with coding these days. It's more about thinking about architecture and the engineering systems and backgrounds, and figuring out how to piece the puzzles together, less so like the actual implementation. A lot of people will tell you like today that does kind of take away from the art of programming a bit. But from my experience, I think it's made me a better programmer. There are a lot of things I would have not known today that I know now because I've been exposed to so much like programming from Claude code, for example. And this used to be in a browser. We used to use Claude, like GPT on a browser, like the chat browser. And we would copy files onto the browser and it would like read the files and give us code. Now we've gone way past that, right? It's inside the system. So it just has access to the files and we don't have to copy paste files. So the productivity has kind of skyrocketed for a lot of people as well. So the industry is kind of moving really quickly. Okay, so It's analyzing more. Excellent questions. Dive deeper into the trade-offs. Okay, let's figure out the trade-offs. You already have extensive cron job, cron-based database polling. Yeah, we do. We have a couple of different things happening. Let me show you the actual load. Campaign system, your heaviest DB user. Yeah, this is actually the heavy thing. I need to kind of maybe reduce that. Because it does kind of go in a lot. Approximately 5 times, 200 milliseconds. Vendor welcome notifications proposed. Okay. Process each notification 10 to 50 per day. Like load. Okay, but like it doesn't need to like max 50 at once. Okay. 10 to 50 per day. Why does it? Queries complex joins across 3 tables. This is a pretty complex campaign actually. So I set up a campaign in the past to email and text SMS to people that were looking for venues and vendors. And we had like, I think like 188 people when we ran that experiment come in and they were looking for resources. And we would try to reactivate them. So like, let's say after 3 days, the person has not responded, we would just send them an automatic email that says, hey, we know these things about you so far. We have done some research into the market. This is what we think are good options for you. Are you interested in scheduling a tour, talking to these venues, or talking to the decorator, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of heavy on the system, but I think it's fine. Verdict DB load is negligible. Less than 1% additional DB load compared to existing campaign system. All right. Recommend solution. Why? So, okay, if the DB thing is device wins, based on your requirements and features, why it's optimal, you're okay with 5 minutes latency, perfect cron polling, 0 new dependencies, uses existing PSQL schedule, already proven in your code base, email polling runs every 3 minutes without issues, negligible DB load, 720 ops per day versus 10,000 in campaigns, 4 hours max. Here's how I implement robust retry logic. Okay, I see. We did bold emails. Okay. Cron job it is. I was a little bit kind of like, maybe not. But we use cron jobs to actually connect people to their platforms. So we connect people to platforms like Peerspace and Tag Venue and like all these other platforms that don't have APIs. So we found a workaround needing an API to communicate with their customers that were on the platform without them having to use the platform. So if you've heard of, like, for example, Guesty in the Airbnb world, so Airbnb exists, but they have API. And then Vrbo exists, Booking.com, Expedia, you name it, it goes on and on. But essentially, if you are a host for a house or an apartment, you don't have to sit on every single platform. There's a platform called Guesty that essentially is like a channel manager. So it brings all of your leads into one thing. So as a host, you don't have to worry about managing so many different things. So essentially, we built a solution similar to that, but in the event world for like platforms like Peerspace, etc. So we use cron job for those things. So I think, we can go with cron job. Okay, give me a fully detailed plan of implementation for the cron job solution. Will this survive? App crashes or updates? So meaning, if a user comes and our app crashes between their arrival and the 30-minute welcome window, will the user be sent the welcome after the application is back up and running? Okay, this is important because the question I'm asking right now is essentially if our app goes down for whatever reason, things happen, we're putting an update up or whatever the case may be, we want to make sure that the actual email cron job, like the email and text message, still sends to customers that came before the app crashed. So we're not like losing out on people every single time we're making updates to the application. So this is to make sure it's going to persist. So we need to make sure that is going to happen. So yeah, this is going to be a good one actually. We don't have to worry about Redis and crashing our application and then getting texts from clients. My application does not work. I can't sign in. Yeah. When they keep things running, keep things going smoothly. Okay, this branch looks good. Clean branch. Once it gives me the answer I'm looking for, I'll just go ahead and begin implementation, which is essentially just having it rip apart the plan it's putting up, right? So it's going to put the plan, and then we're going to go ahead and implement the plan. So right now it's just, if you notice, I'm not an expert programmer, but if you're like trying to learn how to use Claude Code, for example, and you want to take a look at how I go about it, you notice like I had a couple sets of iterations of planning with it. So like asking it questions, pushing its thoughts, telling it to think about these things, telling it to optimize for certain things, like, hey, like we need to make sure it persists over time, like just reminding it of things that are important. So that way when it's crafting the plan, the final plan, it's going to cover all edge cases that we're thinking of. And of course, there's still going to be more edge cases. There's always edge cases. But at the very least, if you understand your customers or your users, then you understand what they care about at the very least. So you can kind of focus on those problems first, and then work your way backwards to the other edge cases, right, over time. So we're going to see what's going on here. Dependencies. Okay, at least there's no dependencies, right? Oh, multi-ins, okay. Crash recovery automatic. Oh, okay. It does have crash recovery, actually. So the question I asked is redundant. You told me already, but yeah, you see it here too now. But okay, I mean, you still got to ask anyway to make sure, triple check. So now it's giving me code. I don't really need code. I just wanted to double check stuff. Okay. Okay, crash recovery is fully supported. Created immediately. So, okay, it creates a record in the DB, and then it checks which jobs have not been done yet, and it does it. Okay, cool. Before implementation, we need to make sure it does the proper migration files for our database. Otherwise, our database is going to be cooked. So let me go ahead and just tell it like how to do that. For our migration file, review this example, no imports, use snake case tables and camel case columns. Okay. So I'm going to switch it to edit mode and tell it begin implementation. Okay. Boom. Just like that. We begin. We're off to the races, yo. We're off to getting it done. How long is this video actually? How far are we in? 24 minutes? I'm sorry guys, it's gonna be quite a long one, but I think it'll be worth it. It'll be nice. Not for everybody, of course. This video is not gonna be for everybody, but this is gonna give some people an insight as to one, the day in the life of like a programmer that's like using AI. It's gonna give some other folks a perspective of like people that are doing startups, I guess, some people doing startups and types of problems that people are solving when they're building startups. And then I'm just here to entertain you, give you a nice experience. But yeah, besides the jokes, I do hope something is like interesting to some degree. But this is a way for me to also document the things that I work on, think about things I'm working on, get some feedback from people. Maybe someone who watches this video and be like, oh, bro, like you're not using this thing properly. And I'll be like, oh, I didn't know that. But now I know. So thank you. You never know. So it's just an opportunity for me, especially to grow in the way I express my ideas, talking about my ideas out loud, for example, saying it out loud here, and then showing it and doing it as well. So I think folks will get a chance to see this, to see it in real life. So I can't wait to test this and see how it works. But yeah. It's creating files, as you can see here, right? So we've created a migration file already. It's also started to create entities. So new entities are like the data structure that's going to be created in a database whenever a person comes in, and we need to send them that notification text message. So it's a vendor scheduled notification. And then this is the service that's going to process it. So let me go ahead and I usually don't like jump too deep into the files to like triple multi-check it. That's why I mostly do it up front. But I'll take a look here and see what's going on. Okay, main cron job runs every 2 minutes, processing notifications that are pending or failed. Cool. Processing notifications. So this is when notification comes in. Generate magic link. This is what I talked about. That's for authentication, so folks don't have to worry about authenticating. Max attempt. This is for making sure we're not overloading the system. So it's sending both email and SMS to folks. There's a short URL because we want to make it look nice. We don't want text messages or emails with like long, lengthy URLs because of the authentication code. It's just going to be like a mess and ugly to look at. So you don't want to do that. Errors, exponential back off, retry, and then the email itself. So it looks pretty good. We talked to different types of venues, or not venues, vendors, venues, caterers, decorators, photographers. This one says other, but there are a lot of different people: florists, DJs, rental equipment, event planners. And we do work with folks across the board because it's just very focused on just making sure people can host their events. So we kind of understand that space a lot. So it doesn't really matter what the service is. What really matters more so is like how you connect with the person that wants to host their event, and how do you fit into the picture of helping them solve the problem, which is, where do I host my event? What food am I going to have? What is it going to look like? How many people are going to be there? And can I accommodate them properly, right? So you need to kind of help them answer those questions and kind of fit into the puzzle somehow, depending on what they're looking for, right? So this is the SMS. This is the cron job for expired stuff. And this is processing statistics. Cool. So that's nice. I'm glad it's doing stuff. What are we up to now? Okay, that was that service. It's creating a controller. A controller is essentially your endpoint for API internally. So it's the way that our system initiates the services, essentially, for the most part. Like, it's an API endpoint for the most part. It's like boom, and it starts like running services, right? So it's kind of like the gateway to a service. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows better, but I think that's how I would describe it to somebody out there. So controller and then module is just like the heart of the package you're creating. So it's like the centerpiece that kind of links the controller to the services or the entity or the DTOs, which are like data something objects that basically it creates a schema of how you expect data in your backend. So if anyone sends data incorrectly, then it's like, nope, we're not accepting that because that's not what we expect. But enough mumbo jumbo about the system. But actually, I do think this might be interesting, actually. So I do want to explore content like this because there might be some programmers out there that are like, this is interesting. I like this. So let's see. Because we'll have a variety of types of contents that we'll be doing. I say we, mainly me, and then my business partner Abe as well. So our core focus right now is scaling VenueBox, which is our startup, and helping other people that are in the industry essentially get more events, but then also helping people that are looking for venues or vendors, help them better plan events and find the resources they need. So we just want to overall like add more efficiency to the marketplace. It's a huge marketplace. It's a global marketplace. We're focused on the US right now. So it's going to be an opportunity for us to add value to many different venues or vendors and like help them streamline their business or add new revenue sources to their business by helping basically streamline the process for people. It's very hectic. There are a lot of resources out there, but it's very hard to get in touch with people. That's one of the big issues that we've seen. Some venues take like a week to respond sometimes, and those usually go to like the high-end venues, especially for weddings. They kind of take their time to respond, and we kind of came in and like wanted to help, like not necessarily like speed up their response time, but like find ways to like improve the experience for people, even if they had to wait. Maybe there are resources that they can have in the meantime that are not accessible to them. So that's what we're just thinking about, all different scenarios of how we can add more value to the industry overall. Okay, don't worry about running migration in development. Review our production database to make sure that, okay, I need to give it some info. I need to give it some info to make sure the database schema is well understood and our migration file is good to go. Okay. So I am giving it access to the database to go make sure the different schemas it's respecting properly. Now this video is kind of quite long. It's already 30 minutes. So I think I will probably just boil it down to this one feature set as opposed to working on both feature sets that I mentioned initially. I am running out of space, I believe. Let me double check. Ooh. Oh, I have 1 hour. Okay. So I'll tell you what. I will push this up to production, and I will dabble on potentially doing the second feature set as well on camera. I guess it doesn't make a difference. I'm going to work on it anyway. So it's just the question is whether or not I leave the camera rolling and whether or not I keep my screen recording, right? So yeah, I don't think it matters really. So we're just going to hang out. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at what files are being changed. Okay, not too many files, it looks like. New entity, new service, new controller, and then the module. So it was very light change, a very light hotfix to make sure the emails are sending. We already had the email system set up. Like I said, the issue was just like how it was queuing the jobs and how it was initiating sending the emails and the messages. So it was having some issues with Redis that we used previously, but now we've removed that, so we're going to use something different to make sure we're processing it. So that's fine, that's good, that's dandy. Now we're just going to focus on the next thing after this pushes, which is the email campaign to folks that came previously. That's going to be interesting. So that's a business driver actually. This is something that's going to help future customers. But so far we've had, I think, 495 different vendors and venue owners reach out to us since we began our experiments for helping build websites and building resources. So we've had lots of conversations with different people from different perspectives, and essentially a lot of people from that pool of 500-ish people were interested in having a website for their business. So now we have a new editing tool that allows people to have more granular control on the editing process of their website. So what we're going to do here now is we're going to send them an email campaign, send out an email campaign with them that will, fix the file. Cool. Okay, nice. But we're going to have it essentially send out the email campaign to these people that are interested potentially, and just let them know that we have updates that's a little bit of a better experience. And then we'll invite them to, of course, a demonstration where they can see it in person, see it live, and see if it's something they might be continuously interested in. Get some feedback from them about things that are deal breakers, what they don't like. And that's how we do customer discovery. We talk to customers, people that are potential customers who have high interest in the things that we're building, to learn more about what's working, what's not working, and then we iterate based off of that. But yeah, I guess it's like spend time with your customers and continue to learn. And that's the way that I've heard, at least. It's probably the way to go. With different values, what? Reading to better navigation as better navigation type Okay. Table reference error. Oh, cool. Okay, yes. Workspace ID, verifying schema patterns. Cool. Okay, cool. Nice. All right, so we're gonna try this. So this is all backend changes. So we're gonna run our backend to make sure it's still good. So yeah, this email polling thing is the campaign thing that I set up. That's like eating up a lot of our backend campaign processor stuff, but it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal right now, at least. But I'll clean that up eventually at some point. So right now we're gonna run npm run build. So that's gonna tell us if we broke anything in the application, at the very least from a script perspective, like a Typescript perspective. And then we have to test it in production, of course, again, and see if we actually did break anything. But so far, so good. I think we're chilling. We only edited 4 files. How bad could it be? 4 files, light work. Slight work. Okay. Okay. You gotta cover my phone. Don't look at my screen. Wow. Okay. Backend builds, as you can see, guys, no errors. Ignore all this red. That's irrelevant. I know this says error, but it's not really an error. It is an error, but like, it's an irrelevant error. It's not an application breaking error. It's just something I was working on. It's not working. But okay, let's go. Prod, baby. I spelled that wrong. It's fine. Okay. So we're gonna push this up. Changes. Entity, create vendor, schedule notifications. It's gonna do a migration on our database. Nothing too heavy. 5 files changes. So let's go here. I think it's this one. Okay, GitHub. So we're gonna go on GitHub. We're gonna go on CM Beta. That's our application. Thick boy. Okay, we're gonna go pull request. New pull request. Eliza testing. Okay. Create PR. We're gonna merge. We are going to merge, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's see the Git workflow. It should be building in production now. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are deploying to backend right now. Okay, so I wanted to push this up first and see if I break anything major. And then concurrently, I don't know if I should work with the same. Yeah, I work with the same Claude actually instead of a new one. So when you bring up a new Claude, it doesn't quite have all the context. This one has context in the migration. So in case I need migration, and also it has context on like how to navigate the database. Okay. Okay, so I'll type up what I want to do. Previously, we had over 100 plus people that were interested in our 1 hour website offer, lead pipeline offer. Can you explore the database and put together a plan that will help us with our goals? First, present me the list of workspace name and workspace owner name, so I know who best fits this campaign, as well to avoid spam or reaching out to the wrong folks. But I need an optimized way to mass email. Do I want to SMS them? Nah, mass email them using our external email SMTP Gmail. hello@VenueBox.ai. Pay attention to the email templates below. That have received responses, subject and body. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this and I'm gonna give it to it. I'm gonna put it in plan mode. Okay, how's this going? Looks okay. Nothing broken yet. A little concerned actually starting this. I think, okay, I'll wait 2 more minutes, guys. Sorry about the wait, but I want to make sure that the production migration runs properly without breaking before I move forward, because if I start a new workflow, I need to make sure this migration here is not an issue and it runs properly in production. Because if migration fails, then your entire application, like, no one can log in essentially anymore. And usually it takes 5 minutes to deploy backend, sometimes close to 6 minutes. So 2 more minutes, guys, 2 more minutes. Bear with me. In the meantime, I'm gonna entertain you guys. Okay, what do you guys want to know? What would be interesting, guys? Actually, I do want to know if you're watching this video at this point in time right now. First of all, you're a rock star, you're amazing. Second of all, I want to know more about you as a person. What are you working on? What are you doing right now? Why do you find this interesting? Are you a programmer? Are you a business owner? Are you thinking about like building startups? I want to learn a little bit more about what other people are doing. Of course, like I watch YouTube as well and other things like that, but kind of curious. You know, why you're here, first of all. I mean, I appreciate you're here, but I'm just curious why you're here and, you know, what you're hoping to learn, whether or not I'm entertaining or not. I just said or not twice. Woo! Okay, we're at 5 minutes, guys. We're very close to the end. Just to make sure, triple check that there's no failures in our production migration. Actually, let me open this up. While it's deploying, maybe it's done. Oh, production ran, no issues. Okay. Okay, error. That's not an error. That's just we track errors in the database. Failed. Okay, we're just tracking. We're just tracking. We're just tracking. Cool. Migration ran. No issues. Very cool, guys. We did it. We're on prod. We are on prod. Well, not yet, actually. We're not on prod yet. Okay, now we're on prod. Sometimes it takes a couple seconds still, though, to like finalize. But I believe we are on prod, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll go ahead and just hit enter here and get cooking here on the next feature set. And in the meantime, I also have to test our application to make sure nothing's broken. So I'll go ahead and sign in here with Google Processing Authentication. Boom, we're in. And we are in loaded inquiries. Okay, maybe backend's getting warm. Come on, backend. Usually it doesn't take this long, guys. I'm so serious. Okay, let's say actually what is happening. Yeah, the backend is probably still cooking up a bit. So we're gonna give it a second. But it should not be taking super duper long to load like it is right now. Boom, okay. Maybe the backend was kind of having a little bit of a moment. Let's see, we're gonna go ahead and refresh just to make sure the load time is not horrendous. Okay, load inquiries. Yeah, it's quite slow still. Okay, but it works. Okay. This is the AI leads, giving you guys an inside look in the application. We have lots of different dashboards, honestly, but this is the one that is tried and true. Folks love it. Folks depend on it. So, yeah, it's our bread and butter. So switching dashboard, or not dashboard, switching workspaces, because you can be in multiple workspaces. I didn't even check which workspace that was. I just switched to it. Oh, it's this one. Okay, go back. Okay, let's see. Inbox. This is a different workspace. Alrighty. Let's get back to work, ladies and gents. Okay. Right now it's doing the research that I told it to do into the database to take a look at all the different workspaces and users that were interested in a 1 hour website. So it's gonna let us know. So if I go here on a lead pipeline, I'll be able to kind of show you guys as well. So we create some interesting tracking systems. Actually, it might just be my Wi-Fi, not really the backend. Could be the backend too, but this is usually never taking this long, actually. So I'll close this and see if that helps. Nah, no, it's not. It's definitely not that. I'll tell you that. Okay, cool. So yeah, this tells us usually where people are coming from. As you see here, I'm kind of doxing folks, but it's fine-ish. Okay, so there's this as well. So, whoa, why is there so much ones? Okay, value offering is this too. Do I have a filter by value offering? Value offering. On our website. Oh, none. What? That's fantastic. Okay, let me try this one. No. Okay, my filtering does not work, guys. 0 users, 0. Come on, it can't be 0. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna tell it something really quick. Continue and also consider or any other offers related to website. Okay. I just needed to find everybody that was interested in a website at some point in time, at any point in time when they were interested in a website. We have something for you guys, all right? We have a tool that streamlines the process of you editing, and it gives you granular control on the editing experience. So you can change things when you want, and you can publish things when you want as well. And it's all built on top of our system. Everything's already done for you. It just gives you the tools and a simplified layer, so you don't have to worry about the complexities of, you know, launching a server, launching a this, launching a that. Everything's done. It's just in our toolbox, and it's in VenueBox. It's in our toolbox, and you can essentially just use it, right? So, yep. So that's kind of where we're at now, and right now it's going about figuring it out. Get all real essential leads with details. Okay, let's see. Explore. So it's looking like 52, maybe an additional 21, maybe 70 people. Let's see. We're just gonna keep pulling into the DB to figure out who is a good fit for this campaign before we go about trying to pull the campaign together. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so it's looking like 78 people, potentially. Okay, so 78 people. That's a good amount. That's a good hitbox of people that we can reach out to by email. So 78 people came to us in the past interested in a website, specifically a website. So we're gonna try to reach out to them and just let them know, hey, there's an update. If you want to try it, we can give you a demonstration. I'll show you how it works, teach you how to use it, and kind of go from there, right? So let's see. If one person is interested, that's amazing. So that's the goal. Let's get one person, work with them, build out an amazing, slick website that integrates perfectly with our backend system, and let's bootstrap their business as much as possible. Our goal is two things I think about. Three. The third is like magic. But the first one is, okay, in the worst case scenario, can we bring you more like volume of people, right? Like, because you have our system, will you get more clients? People interested in your business, right? People that are going to come and be like, oh, I'm interested in this because your website looks great. Our backend AI system is responding to people instantly, and it's helping you like essentially do the work that you would be doing, but you don't quite necessarily have the time to do up front. The second thing is, if it doesn't do that, at the very least, will it save you time? If it doesn't make you more money, will it save you time instead of you doing the work you were doing before? Will you have less work and make the same amount of money, right? Which is also a good opportunity, right? So that's the way we're thinking about it. So one is, can we make you more money? Or two, if we can't make you more money, can we save you time from doing the work you would have been doing anyway? So then you have now more free time to go make more money somewhere else, right? Maybe you have a full-time job that you can be spending that time on. Maybe you have kids, maybe you have family that you can be spending that time with, right? So if we can't get you one or the either, but the magic that I talked about is the two, right? So can we do both? Can we, one, make you more money, and two, save you more time? So that's a magic equation that we're trying to pull together with all the systems that we're working on right now. Okay. So it looks like 70 something people. What? 73 qualified leads. Our website, our lead. This guy's quite seem right. Not sure about this. Okay. This doesn't quite sound great. Okay. One thing I'm gonna do here is actually go here. Shoot, that's not what I wanted to do. Reset filters. Okay, no filters. We don't need filters. Let's go to 10. Okay, 10. Unknown offering, lead dashboard engagement, venue success formula. Okay, that was that. I see that. If I'm booking webs, 5 minutes. Okay, what about this one? Is it pulling this one? Okay, it might be actually pulling that one. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go back to the first. We had someone come recently for this actually, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's on our website. Okay. I'm gonna ask it, okay. Can you confirm you exhausted all potential leads from folks who have a website already or not? Doesn't matter. We want to update everyone. Okay, let's see. Let's make sure. I want to make sure. I don't know if it's like hallucinating in the way that it's come up with something. But yeah, let's see. I want to kind of simplify this. I don't want it to do something like crazy. Like, I don't want it to create backend database like things in order to, like, you know, keep this up. I don't want it to do that. I just want it to just create emails and send it, personalized, of course. But I don't want it to create database entries and like do all this mumbo jumbo stuff. I just want to send the email. Like, I don't want to build a system, right? Yo, what's good, guys? Just a quick random update. We did eventually work on finishing the email, like we mentioned. So we actually did it offline, off camera, because the camera got too hot and it turned off. But anyway, I did want to give an update that the second work item on our list today, which was to research the database, we actually found 400 people. There were 400 different accounts. I don't want to dox too many people, but there were 400 accounts that we essentially can send an email to try to reactivate them, as we have a new live editor for their websites, just giving them an update of how the product is evolving, and also, trying to schedule a demonstration call with these people just to give them, a better idea of who we are as people, and also like what the product is and how they can use it. So